Time freezes for 48 hours and you're the only thing not affected. What do you choose to do? RTX 3090. Here I come. Try to infiltrate Area 51. Get beaten up by a 4D time cop. I wish I could freeze for 48 hours and time would just move on. Tales from the Loop did an episode similar to this, except it spanned months. I assumed. They ransacked stores and fancy homes. Caught a parent cheating and lost hope of the situation as a whole. Depressing series and hard to watch. Believe it or not. Compared to a similar counterpart. Like Black Mirror. Simon Saintlenhag is an artist and the series was based on the art book of the same name. 1. IMDb. Title TT 8,741,290 and Amazon Original. Episode 3 for those interested. 2. Other series recommendations, Utopia. UK version. On Amazon. Love. Death and Robots on Netflix. The OA on Netflix. Devs on Hulu. Black Mirror on Netflix. Mr. Robot. Amazon. Maybe. Depending on country. Predestination. A movie. Dark on Netflix. 3% on Netflix. Put sunglasses on everyone I can find. Then when time freezes everyone suddenly wonders WTF just happened. Crime. Procrastinate. Probs. About a half hour of not realizing. 47. 5 hours of existential crisis. Followed by years of therapy. I would be a bank robbing mofo. I could amass one hell of a stack in 48 hours. Ask the Japanese. They made a whole genre of porn asking this question. Probably browse Reddit and wonder why there's nothing new. Rob drug dealers. What are they gonna do? Report it to the police? Tie people's shoelaces together. Pick up all of the dog crap in my neighbor's yard and put it in her living room, and steal the Declaration of Independence. Then hide it in Nick Cage's house. I'd steal so much. Edit. This really blew up. Lots of questions about what I'd steal. Do security cameras still work? Etc. Honestly, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. Use your imaginations. It's a hypothetical fantasy situation. Maybe I'd just steal your hearts. I'd steal a bicycle. Because I don't own one. And ride around enjoying the quiet and stillness. Maybe an electric bicycle. Because I'm old and fat. And in reality I'd probably last 10 minutes on a regular bike. Finally get a good night's sleep without any interruptions. Be confused. I would jump from one idea to another and won't be able to start until the time's over. So basically nothing. Have you ever seen Click with Adam Sandler? Steal all the fucking Legos I want. Find every winning scratch-off lottery ticket. Walk around naked with no shame. Do a helicopter every now and then. Find a nice beauty spot. Drink some beers, whilst having some music on. A basic way to spend my 48 hours. But a peaceful one. Probably catch up on school work and sleep the rest of the time. Assassination time. Drink some sleepy time tea and enjoy some good sleep on the other hand. I used to fantasize about having a large wad of cash, so maybe I'll first go out and go do some grocery shopping. Masturbate on top of a skyscraper. Watch a TV series without my housemate walking into the lounge and asking questions. I don't have big goals, haha. Move everyone slightly off the ground, not enough to get hurt but enough to realize you're falling, making sure everyone is in the exact same position except one person hanging off of something very visible so everyone gets a weird falling feeling except that guy who really can't explain why he's in a harness hanging of 2 light posts. Have some fun. Change things ever so slightly, like switching people's clothes. Turning them around. Turning cars around. Put a dog leash on random people's hands. One time one phrases so many minds are going to be blown. The answers here are a lot more PG than I was expecting. Edit. People are taking this comment way too seriously. Find my dad. Have a massive panic attack cause WTF is going on. Some are saying to rob banks. Nah. This isn't the good option. It has too much possibility of being caught in a variety of ways. First thing I do, get in my car and drive somewhere approximately 10 hours away from me. I then start going around to jewelry shops and I start taking the precious metals. Mostly ignore the gemstones. Those have lesser value on the resale and also have the possibility of getting tracked. Gemstone chemical signatures and such are tracked to some extent for this reason. I spend the bulk of the next 20 hours or so just loading up on gold, silver, etc. before driving back towards my hometown. Somewhere approximately 2 hours away from home. Probably on the opposite side of where I did my thefts. I go to a spot in the middle of nowhere and I dig a hole in the ground in some very out of the way spot and I bury the metals there. I then head home and at that point I should have a few hours left. More preparation is needed. The moment that time resumes, I go to my car and I head out into town to my various usual shops. The Starbucks, the Subway, the grocery store, the hardware store, etc. And I make it a point to chat with the people there. Maybe I hit on some of the employees. While dying inside. That's not really something I do. Just to make it a little more memorable in their minds. Pay for everything using my credit cards. Stop by my bank and do something. Like buying more checks or something. The whole point of all of this is that if I left any DNA or anything behind. Or somehow there was other indication that I was there. I have this alibi, sure. You might have my DNA at the scene of the crime. But how do you explain that I provably was in my hometown 10 hours away from the crimes? I definitely don't have a twin. Either way, after a year or two. Even if there's no sign that they are onto me. I go and pick up the metals. From that point I set up a little home forge. They are pretty easy to make for less than $200 using random materials. From that, I melt all the metals down and I cast them as artistic sculptures. Little things like a pound or so. Then from this over time, I drive around and go to pawn shops wanting to sell my art. Inevitably they won't give a shit about the artistic value of these things but will likely pay for them in terms of, it's a 1 pound solid gold statue. I'll pay for the 1 pound of gold. And slowly but surely I convert all these things into cash. Never visit the same pawn shop twice, as far as the cash is concerned. Basically just start paying for everything in cash. Though I don't go only with my ill-gotten cash. Withdrawn money from my bank account now and then, and when I'm paying for things, go 50-50 between the dirty money and the real money. Either way, I hide the sudden existence of the money by spending it slowly over time, effectively reducing my expenses. In this way my bank accounts have no real visible difference in behavior other than I appear to be living a bit more frugally. It wouldn't be enough to trigger any audits, so I should be good. In the end. The reason I end up being able to buy something flashy is because it looks like I saved up money over time. And I did, if only because the dirty money helped me reduce my visible expenses. Personally I know I still would not clean my room, and that thought scares me. If time freezes, how can it be for 48 hours? As I say with every time stop post. Prevent a buff Frenchman from walking up some stairs in Egypt. I'd probably be confused for a solid hour. Then I'd say I was gonna do something and wind up sleeping for the first day. Then the second half I'd walk to the store and bring back everything I could hold. I'd then spend a few hours eating my loot. Then I'd repeat. But with tech. But just small, untraceable stuff. And it'd probably pick the pockets of a few people while doing so. Yeah. It'd hide it too. Then probably sleep until everything unfroze. I will walk on street, and when I find someone using his phone I will take his phone from his hand and open Rickroll on it, then put it back in his hand and keep doing that for everyone I see for the rest of the 48 hours. Probably count the ballots in Nevada. I'd rob every bank I could find. That's a given. Rob every drug dealer. Only for cash and pot. It's not like they're going to report it. Then steal all the toys. And while I'm at it, maybe pour a bit of fox scent in my ex-wife's defrosters. Something find a way to be rich blah blah. Pull everyone's pants down. I'd go shopping. I would hit all the big corporate stores and just steal everything of use. I'd finish my Christmas shopping. I'd steal a fridge and a few freezers and stock my garage with food for a year. I'd steal items that are going to be rare faves this Christmas and then resell them on eBay once time unfroze. I would hit the dispensaries and steal all of the weed. I'd take cash from all corporate stores. I would be set up for a long time. I might also make it look like my best friend's abusive ex had peed himself, by peeing on him. Aside from the very illegal things I will not mention publicly, I would go to Disneyland. There's an Amazon warehouse about 5 miles away. This kid's going shopping. Might be unethical. But I'm taking a PS5 and tons of games my broke self can't afford. RTX 3090. Here I come. Try to infiltrate Area 51. I wish I could freeze for 48 hours and time would just move on. Get beaten up by a 4D time cop. Put sunglasses on everyone I can find. Then when time freezes everyone suddenly wonders WTF just happened. Crime. Procrastinate. Probs. About a half hour of not realizing. 47. 5 hours of existential crisis. Followed by years of therapy. I would be a bank robbing mofo. I could amass one hell of a stack in 48 hours. Steal money from banks and replace it with Skolate coins. Edit. Bruh, I just woke up and found this WTF, it took me like 30 seconds to type this. Ask the Japanese. They made a whole genre of porn asking this question. Probably browse Reddit and wonder why there's nothing new. Rob drug dealers. What are they gonna do? Report it to the police?